SR Radio. You, me, or hum.
You are listening to SR Radio. You, me, or hum.
We have the power to win the world. Let's go, everybody.
SR Cares, only on SR Radio.
Hey guys, welcome to SR Radio, You, Me, or Hum, again on a Friday. Yes, it is SR Cares, a show that's dedicated to SR Foundation's COVID initiatives. You know, a brand new month is here. July has started, and SR Foundation seems to have started the month clearly with a bang. The nation observed Doctors' Day on the 1st of July, and SR Foundation took the opportunity to pay tribute to all of our doctors and medical professionals who are fighting the pandemic on a war footing. SR Foundation reminisced its humble contribution of providing over 1.55 lakh medical supplies in the form of PPE kits, N95 masks, 3-ply masks, and a whisk to hospitals in need, be it, government or private. SR Cares pledged to continue its contribution towards the safety of our frontline COVID warriors. Sahej, which is SR Foundation's marquee menstrual health initiative, seems to have clearly spread its wings across the nation. In collaboration with the National Alliance of People's Movements and UNICEF India, SR Foundation has provided over 1 lakh sanitary napkins to women in need across Dhule and Nasik districts. And with this distribution, SR Foundation has distributed over 7 lakh napkins across the states of Maharashtra, Jharkhand, as well as Jammu and Kashmir. Then there's Trans School, SR Foundation's e-school for the transgender community. They held a glamorous session with celebrity makeup artist Ojas Rajani. We all know that, makeup is an avenue of self-expression and identity for the queer community. And Dr. Aditi Govitrikar, she chatted with Ojas to encourage budding makeup artists in the transgender world to pursue their passion and build a career in the field of beauty. And recently, our very own Priya Chakravarti, head of HR Excellence, she was a guest panelist at a recent trans school session themed Transgenders' Right to Dignified Livelihood. We warmly welcome Priya on today's show of SR Cares to talk about how corporates can do their bit towards transgender sensitization. We're going to be chatting with Priya very soon, so do stay tuned to SR Radio.
We have the power to win the world. Let's go, everybody.
SR Radio. You, me, or hum.
SR Cares, only on SR Radio.
On SR Radio, this is SR Cares, a show dedicated to SR Foundation's COVID initiatives. And, as we said, we have our special guest today, Priya Chakravarti, our head of HR Excellence, who was recently a guest panelist at the Trans School session that was themed Transgenders' Right to Dignified Livelihood. Priya, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us here. And, clearly SR has been doing some great work for the transgender community upliftment, be it, inviting community members to celebrate festivals at SR House with the workforce, or then conducting upskilling workshops to help transgenders seek dignified employment avenues. And SR Radio has given a platform to leading transgender activists to voice their views. Tell us, how important do you believe these initiatives are in removing transphobia, especially in corporate India?
See, the very fact that the TT community is an integral part of the society, I think is a compelling enough reason for SR as an organization to actually drive initiatives and programs, so that one is, they become, one of the things that we're looking at is largely in terms of how do you enhance skills to make them more employable, right? How do you ensure that they feel more accepted and included in the society at every level of the society? 3 is, making sure that they have a platform where they can voice their opinions. And we have SR Radio, which is, a very key communication platform that we have kind of rolled out within the organization. And I'm just so glad to share that we've had many people from the transgender community who come and, spoken about it. So that also, and this is kind of heard across the globe within SR, where we have about 7,000 employees. That itself, I think, is a good way to sensitize them, understand what transgender identities are.
That's true, Priya. And I really think what the community needs is acceptance, acceptance for who they are. I remember SR had invited a transgender dance group to perform at SR House on the occasion of International Women's Day. And our SRites absolutely loved the initiative. So how do you believe society can play a role in empowering the community?
Right. I think they can do a lot. And, one is, I think we as individuals in the society or as part of an organization, I think one of the fundamental things is to not be judgmental primarily. I think that's the fundamental shift that is required, to be more empathetic and understanding to people. One of the things I think it's very basic, but really driving sensitization programs across the organization. Just to give you a little bit of an example, when we had the transgender community that was invited over, even for the Women's Day celebration, we had the Dancing Queens. Dancing Queens is a group, that is great talent in terms of dancing prowess. And SR Foundation actually has helped them in a lot of ways across the city to perform. And we didn't want to miss that opportunity, so we called them for the International Women's Day celebration. And what was so encouraging to see is that, the employees wanted to understand a little bit more about, the community, what they are, what are the challenges that they face, what concerns. So you can see that there is ignorance, but it's not that there was no access, So like Sonali is saying, it's about really also ensuring that people understand that it's a biological process, it's a normal process. And I think many of us really don't understand that. And I think that within corporates, fundamentally, that's one of the things that they really need to look forward, we take it forward. Then it's just building the entire ecosystem in the organization, whether it is looking at your process, looking at your policy, whether you're looking at infrastructure, whether we have the third restrooms that are dedicated to the third gender, whether it's in terms of the policies itself. How do you build support groups within the organization so that, people are willing to come out, they're willing to open up, they have a place where they feel comfortable talking about, and a culture that kind of accepts, and actually I think the organization should really work towards, bringing in more people into the system. And I'm happy to share that, we've started the process of where we want to bring in more transgenders into the organization. We've interviewed, we've met people. So that's a very positive thing. And not just within the organization, I think really going to partnering with schools, for example, right? Mm. It really starts at that level of where people start to identify their own gender and being more comfortable in their own gender and skin. So how do you partner with schools to bring that sensitization, at that very young age? Collaborate with other NGOs, other corporate organizations. So I think there is a lot of responsibility and onus that, corporates need to take to really bring them into the mainstream.
Quite a lot of food for thought that you've given us there, Priya. We're going to take a quick break on SR Radio, but for our listeners, there's lots more coming up on this special on SR Cares, so do stay tuned.
You are listening to SR Radio.
We have the power to win the world. Let's go,
SR Radio, you, me or hum.
SR Cares, only on SR Radio.
Well, on SR Radio today, it is SR Cares time, a show where we talk about SR Foundation's COVID initiatives. And in fact, today we are talking to our very own Priya Chakravarti, who's head of HR Excellence. And, she was recently part of a trans school session that was themed around transgenders' right to dignified livelihood. Priya, we were talking about, corporate India and so much more. Now tell us, is gender sensitization spoken about in MBA schools?
Even at colleges, and when we go for campus recruitments, we don't see any of this bit at all when we are interviewing, and it's not spoken about even in your MBA institutes. I'm not too sure, and I'm sure that there might be people who are transgenders but are really not wanting to come out of the closet, right? So it's really starting at that level to make sure that your future employees are also people who are youngsters, who are comfortable in their skin, comfortable in who they are.
That's so true, Priya. Now, let's talk about the Rainbow Project. Do you think this Rainbow Project will go a long way in weaving the transgender community into the fabric of our society?
The objective of Rainbow Project is multifold, right? One is the whole acceptance factor. One is the whole awareness creation. One is how do you make them more integral to the larger mainstream society? So that's the larger objective. And one of the key initiatives is the trans. And the focus of the trans school is that, how do you equip them with the right skills so that they have the right set of competencies, the right, knowledge to be able to go into mainstream, right? So you want to make sure that you open doors for them, you create opportunities where, the training actually translates into a job where they live a dignified life, they're earning, they're financially independent.
Such important factors, and it's great to see that we are working towards strengthening it and making it a part of their lives. Priya, it's been a pleasure speaking to you on today's SR Cares. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
SR Radio. You, me, or hum.